Hi there, this is Infinity, and today I'll show you the most unexpected and unusual things that you'll see for the first time in your life. Let's go! Have you ever wondered what's in the luggage of the person who flew with you on the same aircraft? If you were flying to a warm country on vacation, chances is he was carrying souvenirs with him, magnets or some other clothes, or crabs. Yes, as it turns out, some people prefer to take animals from exotic countries. Last year, a video shot at an airport in the Bahamas appeared on the internet, showing dozens, if not hundreds, of crabs escaping from a passenger suitcase and scattering around the airport, causing a commotion among staff and tourists. The video shows the crustaceans crawling among the passengers, waiting for their bags near the luggage belt, while screams and laughter can be heard behind the shot. You don't see that every day, huh? Well, at least it was good that they were crabs and not some tarantulas or snakes. Unusual creatures. Tropical forests are amazing places in which you can find both familiar animals and creatures that many people would never have known about in their lifetime. Luckily, we have curious explorers and photographers. Thanks to one of them, a photographer named David Weiler, the world has seen an unusual furry creature, the little cicada. The 15mm insect was found in Colombia. By the way, it's unusual not only because it's covered with such hairs, the insect is constantly moving from side to side, which looks like a dance. The cicada does this in order to see the world better. Thanks to the hairs and such movements, it evaluates its environment and builds a clear picture of the world, which helps it to navigate. Without such movements, the little cicada wouldn't last long. By the way, Weiler discovered not only this incredible creature, but also another one, the Brahmea hircea moth. Do you think these are eyes? No, it's the pattern on the moth, a pattern of tiger eyes and coloration. Would you like to see such a moth with your own eyes? Then go to the island of Borneo in Indonesia. This creature lives there. Tiger moths and little fluffy cicadas are cool creatures. They look very cute, but such insects are in the minority. Most insects disgust many people, and that's not surprising. After all, hardly anyone really likes playing with these creatures, right? As it turns out, it's not that simple. There are some people in the world who really adore insects with all their hearts. And the most famous of them is a guy named Adrian Kazakiewicz. He adores insects, but he adores being photographed with insects on his face even more. Some of the bugs look harmless and some look very creepy. Many people wouldn't even hold these creatures in their hands, let alone put them on their faces. Most of all, I was struck by giant insects like fat caterpillars or spiders with long legs. These insects are not even very pleasant to look at, but Adrian has no trouble putting them on his face and hands. Incredible love of insects has made the guy a local celebrity. More than 800,000 people on Instagram look at Adrian's relationship with small bugs and huge caterpillars. We all know that cats like to hunt small prey like mice or small birds, but have you ever seen a confrontation between a cat and a big owl? It seems like something that couldn't happen. But no, in the summer of 2020, a couple from the village of Egum in Belgium spotted just such a scene in their backyard. Actually, it can't be called a confrontation. It's not even clear what's happening on the video. The cat's standing either scared or ready to pounce on the owl at any second, and the bird's doing something similar to a dance. Or is it adopting a fighting stance to thwart the furry predator? Anyway, this is something we haven't seen before. I have a strange question for you. How many cows at most have you ever seen? 1, 2, or maybe you came across a large herd of several dozen cows. And what about as many cows as you can see on this drone video? I'm not sure you've ever seen such a huge herd. This footage captures about 1,300 cows. That's a whole army. In addition to the cows, we can see a large truckload with tanker. As it turns out, the footage captures an impromptu watering hole. The video was shot when Australia was experiencing its worst drought for the last several years. The water in the local reservoir had evaporated, so they had to bring a tanker full of water to their farm so the cows could drink. By the way, notice that even though the cows crowd around the tanker, they don't climb on each other, patiently waiting for their turn to drink the water. At the same time, many people are ready to tear each other during some sale at the store or distribution of free products. It seems we have a lot to think about. How many of you have had medical cups placed on your back? I'm sure there are quite a few of you who have gone through this procedure. There's nothing unusual or unexpected about it. But what about this picture? Have you ever seen so many medical cups on somebody's back? I bet you haven't. Meanwhile, this is what an Olympic massage looks like. At the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio, famous swimmer Michael Phelps appeared on one of the swims with a lot of marks on his body. Some might have thought Michael was beaten by Brazilian fans, but in fact, the champion just had a massage with medical cups. Unlike most people, Michael didn't mind having literally his entire body dotted with such cups. The swimmer uses such a radical method for the best recovery after workouts and swims. By the way, if you didn't know, the treatment with medical cups is a centuries-old tradition that's popular in many countries, especially in Asia. The bruises left by the cups look pretty gruesome, especially if you haven't seen anything like this before, but they heal up pretty quickly. In the 1990s, people didn't have a huge amount of video games, powerful computers, and sophisticated consoles, so they had to play Tetris. I hope I don't need to explain what kind of game it is. Tetris is a legendary video game, but in the last couple of decades, people have forgotten about it because who needs Tetris when there are so many great shooters, RPGs, simulators, and indie games, right? But PhD candidates at the University of Pennsylvania have decided that Tetris is such a legendary video game that it should never be forgotten. They played Tetris using a local 29-story skyscraper as a screen. The young scientists used LED lighting on the high-rise building to turn it into an analog of a game console screen. The idea of the PhD candidates allowed them to play one of the most popular games on the biggest screen ever, and the whole city had an opportunity to see the great light show. It was great! Where else can you see something like that? What was the worst thing that ever happened to you at work? Maybe your boss was giving you extra tasks right before you had to go home? Or maybe you got inadequate, crazy customers. Actually, it's really not all that scary or horrible compared to what the workers at Bagni Maddalena's Italian restaurant had to endure in 2018. On October 29th of that year, a storm raged, and a powerful wave swept over the restaurant, which is located in a coastal area and popular with local tourists. Caught unawares by the storm, the restaurant workers were forced to run from the ruined premises. Fortunately, everyone survived the incident. Have you ever seen anything like this? I can understand when a tsunami comes ashore, but a wave destroying a restaurant is something new. If you like sushi and ice cream, then you should definitely try rolled ice cream, a dessert that combines both. You haven't heard of it? In the meantime, it's one of the newest and most interesting culinary trends of recent years. Rolled ice cream is traditionally made in Thailand. It's believed that this dainty was invented in the early 1990s by street vendors in Phuket. A few years ago, such rolls became popular in many different countries, from the US and England to Spain. So what makes rolled ice cream so special? It's made right in front of your eyes. Street vendors smudges ice cream on an icy dish and then swirls it with something like a spatula. These cold rolls look very cool. Several twisted portions of ice cream look great in a cup or a large waffle. And if you decorate them with berries or pour sweet sauces, you'll have a record number of likes on your Instagram account. The main thing, of course, is to have time to take pictures of such beauty before it loses its shape. Do you have a dog? What's the most impressive thing it can do? Bring you things? Open doors? High-five you? But can your dog control other animals? I doubt it. But 3 dogs, Roy, Lass, and Kelt, can. In 2018, they demonstrated team spirit on a clearing near Livingston, Tennessee. Hearing their owners whistle, they guided a flock of geese in the right direction. The owner of the specially trained dogs, named Chad, staged an entire show in early December of 2018. It was attended by dogs, geese, and 2 of Chad's nieces. The owner of the dogs directed them with a whistle to make the fleeing birds go back and pass first through a hoop held by the younger niece, and then under the older niece, standing in a bridge stretch pose. By the way, such shows are not uncommon in Tennessee. This footage shows similar teamwork involving geese and dogs. And judging by the coloring of the dogs, they're Roy, Lass, and Kelt again. What can I say? They're like real circus actors. That's all, guys. What impressed you the most from this episode? Let me know in the comments section down below. And if you liked the episode, subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and don't forget to stay notified of upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and see you later.